We're at the Devolver Digital trailer park outside of E3 2014, and we're going to catch up on the love life of pigeons. You know, what's the backdrop to this? What's the background to making this game?
Well, half the fun is not knowing the backdrop and just going up to people and going, have you heard about dating pigeons? But yeah, so Hatoful Boyfriend, a lot of people know the name. It's done quite a lot of sort of news sites have been quite enthusiastic about us. It's a cult hit in Japan, and it's quite an obscure sort of like game made on freeware, a parody of dating sims where you are dating literal like photos of pigeons of various types, and we wanted to bring it to a wider audience. The humour caught our attention, but there's a little more to the game. There's depth to the story, but the absurdity of the premise sold us instantly.
So, I mean, simulations are sort of the new sort of black in the video game industry. Is this the kind of simulation that takes itself? I mean, is there anything that's like even remotely like what pigeons do in terms of dating, or is it more like a, you know, more like a simile to what we're doing in dating?
Well, it's sort of somewhere between both. It's very like immersed in Japanese culture. Like if you know like the Persona games and 999, like visual novel sort of style gameplay, it's taking that and all the anime tropes and dating sim tropes you've ever known and sort of mixing them up in a parody, but also doing its own serious story about why you are the only human at Pidgeonations High School and why you are dating birds. It actually delves into this. Like, this is the thing, you think this is an absurd game where you're dating pigeons, but as it goes on, there's sinister undertones, there's real story, there's a number of characters, there's even RPG-style boss battles, so it's not a game you really know what to predict, and considering the first thing you go in thinking of is, I'm going to date some pigeons, like, it gets pretty weird.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not really even remotely the most popular bird out there.
No, but you know that's
rats with wings and all that.
But everyone cheers for the underdog. Also, Hatomoa, the woman who made this game in Japan, has a real love for birds that you can tell because one of the characters, the one we're demoing today, like one of the endings, one of the stories of Oko-san, is based on her own pet pigeon. So you can get a little bit of an insight into the creative mind behind this. Likes her birds.
So, what plans do you have for this game? It's coming out on PC. What's the scope of it, and what kind of thing are you looking for here?
Well, we're going quite low price on Steam, GOG, Humble. We basically just want to get it out to a wider audience because there's been this real appreciation for it when it was this obscure Japanese thing not very many people had access to, and now we want to see how it does if we can get it out to more people because these sort of games are getting more of a chance with things like Steam. So we'll see where it goes from there, but you know, excited just to be getting it to a wider audience for now.
Certainly. I can imagine that this is the kind of game that a lot of people will pick up if it's cheap enough just to see what it is, really, just to experience it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, first of all, it's going to start off quite cheap. Second of all, when you've got like the Steam sale culture and everything like that, people will be seeing it and just thinking, oh, that pigeon dating game, huh? And I hope a lot of people will just find it funny off the bat, and a lot of people get sucked in and find themselves like, why am I enjoying a pigeon dating game? There's a lot to it, you know?
I can see it both appealing to those who actually play dating games. I mean, I certainly know a lot of people who do that, and it's a specific genre that's got its own tropes, and it's a very specific thing. But also to those who kind of think like dating games are kind of weird.
Yeah.
They would kind of appreciate the humor of a pigeon dating game.
Yeah, I think so. Like, the thing for me is always like dating games. Who plays dating games? But then one of the games I got super into was the Persona series. And when you start understanding like the tropes and how they're like subverting that, it's pretty funny. But Persona's quite straight-laced, you know, in terms of adhering to those tropes. Whereas this, you've got really, like one of the characters up front, Shu is the school doctor. And right off the bat, he's like that creepy guy who you get in the dating sims, taken to an extreme. Like, one of the endings involves him cutting off your head and keeping it in a jar. So, you know, it gets pretty frickin' weird from the bat. But yeah, if you are familiar with tropes at all, it's very playful with them. It has a lot of fun. There's also the serious story going underneath, depending on which character you go for. So.
All right. And what's the timeline here? When's it coming out?
We're looking very soon. I don't think we have any definite dates nailed down, but it's probably going to be like July, September, that sort of time. So we've done quite a lot with the game as it was, because it like originally didn't run at many resolutions. So we've scaled it up so it's full screen. Most computers, like all hardware compatibility, redrawn all the backgrounds in HD. One thing we have preserved absolutely from the original is it's still like the photos of the birds, because we think the weirdness of that is part of the charm. When you've got Ryota is your pigeon best friend, and it's just a photo of a pigeon. There's a real fun to be had there. Yeah. So
connect the dots and sort of imagine it yourself in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to dating pigeons.
Thank you. I look forward to the world dating pigeons. So thanks for your time.